Hey everybody, welcome to More Than VCs, guys. We are back to the UK Transformers number 42, and I'm here with Boo of the AxonUnderground.com.
Howdy.
Hey, we are. I had to do a double take on the cover here. I
hmm
want. I thought it said Anarchy in the UK, like the Sex Pistols song. It's Ravage's Resolution,
I think
Anarchy in
it's
the
a
Ark.
reference. I'm
I
pretty
think it's
sure it's
supposed to be. Sure, I can definitely see that.
yeah.
Yeah. So Anarchy in the Ark,
Yeah.
covered by what you said. I was talking to you, Will Simpson with the
Will Simpson,
Terminals.
yeah.
Has a very much Boxster style, but I like because it's almost like it's supposed to be a perspective. Like you see Ravage coming at you in the middle there, and they all the Autobots have their guns trained on him.
They're shooting him in the behind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called this story is Crisis of Command, which I was actually kind of surprised by this because assumed the only Crisis of Command was going to be the Decepticons, but we'll get into that.
Right.
Yeah, so well, the transformation page gives away some of the story, but I'll kind of we can wait on that.
Well, and they kind of go over it because this is the first issue of 1986.
Um,
So,
yeah,
yeah, it's weird to think that, yeah, we're in 1986 comic wise now. So these kind of go by quickly.
wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yes, January 4th of 1986. It was just
Huh.
after the new year.
They're gonna have we have sound waves are back.
Yes. Oh, we have Robo Capers.
Do we ever?
Yes.
Um,
So
King Cruel King No Nose.
yeah,
Um,
I guess they're still like workshopping his name.
I guess so. Maybe he has a new name. Maybe it's kind of
Maybe
like
that's a title.
the shtick King, or
Yeah,
maybe that's like yeah,
it's
well,
like how Bowser was King Koopa. Maybe,
maybe.
and he's
So
kind of got that Bowser vibe to him.
Bowser and Polka Dot. Yeah, he looks like
Yeah,
Bowser with polka dot Aquaman outfit on.
he's got like
God,
the Ming the Merciless hat on.
he does.
Yeah,
Oh man, he does. That's terrible. They
that
took all
little
the worst
that
parts
that
out of him.
Widow's Peak skull cap thing he wore.
Yeah, he has a new resolution since his January 4th. This year, his resolution he is determined to with a new determination and new plans to conquer the universe. Together
Yes.
with the robots, we will crush all who oppose us. The moaning minis
Yeah,
of the
moaning.
weaker planets will be stamped out. Our onslaught will be swift and terrible. Mind you, it'll take 6 months to get over the festivities.
Yeah, so the pony and hangovers last 6 months.
Yep.
So those dudes know how to party, but that's probably why they don't get anything done.
Yeah. Good on 'em. Uh,
Yeah.
they're also talking about New Year, New Thrills. Transformers are like a new range of stories. Secret Wars 2 is going on at the same time. And Spider-Man and also Captain Britain. Last issue of the title in its current format is scheduled to reappear as an American all-color comic. Keep watching.
Yeah, so Captain Britain was getting an upgrade, and the Spider-Man comic was, I guess, changing away from more of the children's stories to more of the regular Marvel
Okay.
stories.
Yeah, after the end of Secret Wars 1 and feature new villains, the Rose and the Puma, Spidey's black costume.
Yeah, they're
Zoids.
introducing the alien costume at this point.
Yeah.
So
Zoids joins the comic from pages of Secret Wars. Zoids?
Zoids, yeah.
I didn't realize they did that. And also
Oh
featured
yeah.
post-wars Fantastic Four adventures, which include the final Fantastic Four's new member.
Which Zoids had been around for a while.
I remember Zoids when we were younger. I remember they got a big resurgence in the I'd say the 90s or maybe early
Late
aughts.
90s, early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, like
Because I had
they had
like Giant
static.
Zerk and
Oh
then the
yeah,
one that was a T-Rex, I forgot what it was called. I got that for like Christmas in 83.
yeah. I mean, I remember all that, and then like an anime hit like Toonami or something, and it just
Yeah.
all of a sudden blew up again.
Yeah,
So
I
and
want to
they're
say Fox was showing it, like Fox Kids, maybe.
maybe that's what it was. Fox Kids.
Yeah,
I mean, they're cool figures, and they're cool.
it was around the same
Really
time
cool
they're showing
toys.
Beast Machines, I think.
Probably, yeah. It actually makes
Yeah,
sense. So yeah, late 90s, early
Y-
aughts.
yeah. So yeah, it was cool. Oh, the new member of the Fantastic Four, you know who that was, right? Because
Wasn't
the thing
Hermes.
didn't come back from the
No.
Battle World.
Oh, was
right
that
away.
was that when She-Hulk joined
Yep.
it? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of surprise myself at weird things I pick up on over the years because I never really read the comics that well. But
Hmm.
just listen to people talk, I pick up on little things that happen during like time frames. So that makes sense.
Well, you're pretty young at this time still, so
Yeah, you were really old too.
I was.
You were old and you were young. But yeah. Anyways, that's the comic. All right, everyone, talk to y'all later. No.
Yep, that's it. Just
So we
you
start with
wish.
we start with the arc with its butt sticking out of the mountain of the
Yeah,
volcano.
which is different.
It's very different. It's got like two main engines sticking out the
Well,
back.
that's generally how they show it
Well,
in the comic, but it's
yeah.
always like inside the volcano. It's not sticking out.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Actually, it is. They kind of adopted the Sunbow
TV
show
show.
stuff in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And,
just same with their garage door open too.
yeah, and we'll get into that. And you see the shadow like up front, right?
The shadow up front. I'm
See
looking.
the shadow on the right side on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're following
Oh,
someone's point of view.
nice. I didn't catch that detail.
Yeah, if you watch it, it's almost like the old horror comics where you
Yeah.
have the shadow creeping towards the door
Yeah.
and you're like, what is that about? And at the end you get the big reveal. That's what they're doing here.
That's actually that's really cool.
Yeah.
I want you to take a look at the rear part of the arc because it changes.
Yes. Yes, it does. And did you see who wrote this issue?
Yeah, Mike Collins.
Mike Collins, which we've known him mainly from his artwork,
Yep.
which he's the one that illustrated again Zabgoth's favorite issues, his favorite story arc, the Enemy Within.
Yep.
And he did some other ones too, but that seems like the one that keeps coming up in
As soon
our
as
podcast. So
as soon as I started reading it, though, I recognized the art style immediately. I had to go back to the who did the line for this, Jeff Senior.
yes, this is his first issue to illustrate for Transformers.
Jeff Senior, you'll see a lot in later Transformers, American Transformers books, obviously UK as well.
Yeah,
Also in G2.
he's one of the few that like switched over to
Yeah.
do the stuff on the American side. So
Yep. So that's kind of neat.
he was probably my favorite artist
Oh yeah.
that did
Well,
that. Yeah.
there are some things about the way he does art, and it still kind of sticks in my craw a bit. But he got really big on doing the robots like their faces look like people's faces like they're wearing a helmet.
No,
Very
that's not him.
well, no, I mean look at Prowl here. He has sunken cheekbones and stuff. I
Oh
know,
yeah, the shading on that.
yeah,
Yeah, but
I know who you're talking about. Like the people
yeah,
wearing suits of armor. Yeah,
yeah, that
is that that's not Wildman.
yeah, it was Wildman.
Well, it was Wild.
Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah.
no, I can pick up on his art style. Also, sometimes you'll see like Optimus Prime's face is almost looks like Lord Soth from D&D. He
Yeah.
is like shadowy. And you see like the eyes come from the shadows. Like it
Well,
was
and he hadn't quite found his style for Transformers yet
no,
because what he did later, which it's almost like they're two dimensional, like they're cutouts,
yeah, like
but
I said,
it's really good at expressing like the action.
yeah. And there's also some in this issue where God, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was Huffer or someone. Anyways, you see like almost like lines coming down the face, like they're like they're flat panel faces with like division lines.
Hmm.
And I just always, as soon as I saw the art style, he has a certain feel to him. This is Jeff Senior. It has to be picked it up and immediately it is. And I really liked his stuff in G2 a lot.
Yeah.
It
Oh yeah.
really,
By G2, he had it down.
yeah, it really went well to the G2 style. I mean,
I would
see,
say by the time he did the American issues that he did, he
oh
definitely had
yeah,
his style down because he had a lot of these issues under his belt by then.
yeah, it seemed like I always remember from the first issue of G2, Blades just looking like angry,
Oh yeah.
and he did great with that kind of style. He drew really good angry Autobots, which you'll see
Telling
a lot of
Hound
that.
to man up.
Yeah.
And we do have Jazz again with his visor as a actual like cap visor.
Yeah, it looks like do you remember Suicidal Tendencies?
Yeah, I was
Mike
actually
Muir?
going. Yeah,
Psycho Micah Muir with his
you just give Jazz a Pepsi, man. That's all he wanted.
I just wanted a Pepsi. All I was a Pepsi. Why did you give me a Pepsi? Well, right now, we have a crisis of leadership because Prowl's like, Prime, dude, we just bring the creation matrix out, wipe all the Decepticons in one fell swoop. And like Jazz is like, then wipe out, that's Decepticon talk, man. You can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
they're having a big argument because right now Megatron's missing,
mhm.
Shockwave's out of commission, so
Yep.
they're like, we need to like push the advantage now. And really, he's not wrong. You
No,
could
it's not.
probably like do a lot to to shut this down.
He honestly, Prowl is the tactician.
Hmm.
He is the Autobot tactician. He is. He's like, hey, we have the advantage. Press it right now.
They've
And
lost the aerospace plant.
yes.
Yeah, and
Also, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it. So yeah, they're practically leaderless right now. So
Essentially, yeah, they are. And also, you've got Prowl, who is borderline. He's always been this way. They did a lot with this in the IDW comics. Borderline war criminal. Sometimes the way he thinks.
yeah, well,
He's
he's
not
just
wrong.
pure logic. He's
Yeah.
not using his fifis at all.
No, he's not wrong, but he's
Yeah,
wrong in the fact that he shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff.
right.
But he's not wrong.
He's pure tactics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's yeah. Um, and Ratchet's over there in his ear, like, look, dude, Optimus, we need guidance. So we're here. We're waiting on something to be said. And he's just Optimus is staring off. It's like
yeah, because they're all
Optimus.
about to come to blows over it.
Yeah.
Right
Hey,
in front of him too. It's like crazy.
Optimus does something that I think is really I don't know. I would say weak because it's Optimus Prime. It shows a bit of weakness. Is like I'm not a warrior by choice. Listen to me, and I want this conflict to end too. But we can't do it. He's like shake his fists or finger at everyone. You can't use a creation matrix as a weapon of war. It's there. It's a symbol of creation. You can't use it to wipe out Decepticons. It's not what its purpose is.
Yeah, and I mean the way he's raising his fist, he looks like he's just about to brain Prowl.
Yeah,
They're like he's about to bring it
but
down.
in Prowl's defense, he's been sitting here in his Autobot cuck throne, listening to them all fight until
Yeah.
Ratchet. Hey, that's the camera. Until Ratchet finally like, dude, are you gonna say anything? Come on, we gotta say something. You gotta say something. He's like, fine. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You need to shut up. And yeah, he blows it. And then Prowl's like, if you followed my ideas, this conflict would be over already. He's like, explain.
Oh yeah. Oh, before that, do you see the little panel that didn't really make sense there?
Yeah,
Do you see it now?
I do see it now.
Yeah. Now the shadow is creeping in the door.
Yep.
Yep.
And it
Did
just
you wonder about that when you first read it? You're like, what is going on? Why is that
yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't wonder very long.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Prowl is talking about making a line of ultimate Autobots
Yeah.
who look at the head a lot like
Straxus.
Praxis. They got
Yeah.
that kind of Cobra head thing going on a little bit.
And with the one gun arm, another grabber arm, it's like
Yeah.
Straxus and Omega Supreme had a baby.
Well, it's an ultimate Autobot. I think he's saying like we need to build
Like,
Sentinels,
yeah.
and they can go around and they can destroy all the Decepticons and be done with it.
Yeah,
All
I mean, they really do look like kind of like Guardian robots with like the Cobra wings on their heads.
yeah. Oh, they totally do.
Yeah.
And he's Brown's like, look, we could eradicate all this threat in one fell swoop, and you'd have your peace, dude. And then Jazz is like, and what would fuel all these what would we fuel these abominations with? And I like the Jazz uses abominations because you're essentially saying, hey, the Autobots should be making weapons of war.
Well, that and he's like, we barely got enough fuel for themselves, but he's the one that brokered the deal with GB BlackRock.
Yep,
So BlackRock would give them all the fuel they needed for these monstrosities to just
100%.
yeah to end it.
Yeah, and BlackRock would love the Decepticons to be gone.
Yeah. Oh, totally. More than anybody else besides maybe Circuit Breaker.
Circuit Breaker doesn't care. He's just
Yeah.
an equal opportunity robot hater. But yeah, then he like Optimus enough, and then you see the panel with Creeping Shadow again.
Yeah.
And then
And this one's it's a feline looking shadow now. We can make it
here.
out. Yeah.
And Optimus Prime's like, I will not allow the creation matrix to be perverted. Prowl, do you realize what you're suggesting? What of the Earth? And Prime's like, the price the planet would pay be too high. We're here to protect. That's not what we Autobots do. We don't lay waste to planets just to get rid of the Decepticons. We'll be no better than they are. So there'll be no.
But every time they fight the Decepticons, they wreck a bunch of stuff
Oh
anyway.
yeah, oh yeah. I gotta ask. There's a panel on the page underneath the delayed devastation on the far
hmm
left. There's an Autobot who I cannot identify.
Oh yeah, that's because he's colored like Bumblebee, but if you look, he's drawn like Beachcomber.
Kind of is,
Yeah,
but
now he's got the Beachcomber like chest elements, and look, he's got the little I don't know, what do you want to call that? That little duck tail or whatever he's got going over his head.
yeah, kind of with a big visor though. Kind
Yeah,
of
well that's his like sunglasses.
yeah,
That's Beachcomber, but they colored him like Bumblebee.
that's funny.
But Beachcomber isn't on Earth
No, he's
at this
not.
time.
No, he's not.
We see him
Whoops.
later on Cybertron still with Blaster and Cosmos and all of them. So,
Yeah,
oops.
Optimus Prime uses his daddy voice to rope. No, ultimate Autobots. We will not be time this. This case is closed. Get out of here.
Yeah.
They all walk off, and yeah, sideswipes over there. Like, I think Prowse, was talking a lot of sense, man. We could really wipe them out using the creation matrix. And there's, I think it's Hound. Is Hound's over there like Optimus is being too pessimistic about the outcome,
Yeah, he
and
is.
maybe he's not fully himself yet. And there's the
Well,
question.
and it seems odd. I would think Hound would be on the side where, we don't destroy things on the Earth because he likes the Earth.
I kind of I would expect that would be more like Ironhide.
Right.
Ironhide being like, we can do this. But yeah, now we get the idea that the crisis of leadership is they're not sure that Optimus Prime is fully himself again because he's been gone so long.
Yeah.
Things have gotten worse since his head's been on a platter in Shockwave's lab.
Well, he's had some downturns in his leadership. Like I said, he didn't foresee Shockwave showing up at
No.
the end of, the miniseries. So he's still kind of blaming himself for that. And then he's blaming himself for being incapacitated and having the Matrix plundered out of his head,
Yep.
you know. And then he's Optimus Prime is all guilt, and everybody wants to
Always has been.
wants to drag Rodimus for his moments of doubt, but especially comic Optimus, full of
They
doubts.
Yeah, those people who were hard on Hot Rod, Rodimus, never read the comic, obviously.
Yeah, because Optimus was always doubting himself and constantly second guessing himself. Because now he's blaming himself for when Shockwave stuck a false head on his body and shot up the other Autobots a few issues ago. So
Yeah, and then like he's sitting in his chair looking all sullen, saying like alone again, but solitude is invaded by obligations and demands, and crushed by the weight of responsibilities. But that's what being a leader is all about, isn't it? And yet, here the opposition, the discontent, even after he had spoken, that never happened before, did it? Before, and like so, he's realizing that Prowl's not feeling like he's not the way he used to be. He questions almost like Prowl. Like I wonder if Prowl thinks he could lead better than I do.
yeah,
Prime is questioning his leadership abilities. I like the shadowing. I don't like the way he's drawn because he's weirdly boxy. Like, but the shadowing on this him sitting there thinking about how sad he is about everything.
it's
And
very dramatic shading. Yeah,
it is. And I like the way the head's drawn in this bottom panel, but I think
hmm
that what's missing here is you don't have the silver on the face mask. It's
yeah.
all blue.
They do that sometimes throughout the UK
Yeah,
comics. Sometimes they just color his whole head blue.
it's not Yom Tov bad, but it's bad enough.
Yeah, at least it's got it's a two-tone blue.
It is because of the shading.
But
Do
do
you?
you see the subtlety in this panel?
Yep, I did.
Yeah,
If you look at the very shadowy in the top there, there's a creeping form, and then we find out it's Ravage. Who
it is
knew?
barely a silhouette. Even
Oh
it's like
yeah,
you see some slight, like almost black, just highlights on the edges,
well,
and it'd be easy to miss.
it's almost like shining highlights. Like you catch the glint of metal,
Yeah,
but it's all
like
black.
like that really dark blue that they'll
Mhm.
use. Yeah, for highlights, and like I said, it's easy to miss if you didn't pay close attention to it. It was easy to notice that there's a Decepticon right there.
Oh yeah, there is. And so Ravage is hearing all this. He's like, "Oh, how interesting! The mighty Optimus Prime plagued by discontent. Fascinating." And he's like, "Well, that's something to note. For now, I have a job to do." And he's like, they talk about how good Ravage is, how he can move at such a slow speed to get around alarms and
Yeah,
maybe traps. And he puts a paw out just far enough to catch the alarm, and it goes
it's
off.
just funny when you said that about him moving so slowly. I just had a flash of Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy when
Yeah,
he's like, I'm standing so still that I become invisible." And like, we can see you. You're right there. No, you can't.
make it. But yeah, the alarm goes off. Ravage jumps down and like,
Well, he
ooh,
sticks his toe just in the light, just enough to set off the
yeah,
alarm.
he
So he
sticks a
does it on
claw out.
purpose. Yeah. And he wiggles it. If you look, there's a little
Yeah, he
wiggle
does
line.
the little
He goes,
lines.
tinkle, tinkle.
And they all freak out. Stop him! Oh! And they all there's a big pursuit of Ravage.
Well, if you look, there's two more like unknown Autobots over here. I mean, it looks like, I guess that's Blue Streak,
Yeah, I
but
guess
there's two
maybe.
other guys that don't really look like anybody. I
No, I
mean,
mean,
one guy's got like a gold and black head, but he looks kind of like Trax, but he's also got like guns on his forearms.
yeah, I don't
And then there's
know.
some gray guy with like tube arms,
Yeah,
which it looks kind of like he's got pieces of Huffer, but kind of pieces not,
I don't
and the
know.
colors are all wrong.
But see, in like in this next page though, you see the Jeff Senior. Sometimes when he's not trying to show a lot of emotions on a robot faces, he has
Hmm.
almost like you ever see the I feel like they're like gestures or something like that with the diamond eyes, and you have
Yeah,
lines coming out. It has draws Prowl that way. It draws a more robotic looking, less
I think that's
expressive.
Blue Streak actually.
Is that Blue Streak?
Yeah, because Blue Streak has like the red crest too, and his
Yeah.
crest is a little different. His crest
Okay.
kind of is more curved.
Well, it makes sense because he's in that other panel.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess maybe
So
just
yeah,
colored like Prowl.
but it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, because his gray is very light.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they all the Autobots are in pursuit. They're, dude. I think it's Blue Streak. I can't tell. Maybe it's Mirage. Fires off like a missile. Or no, that's Ravage.
No,
She's
that's
off a missile.
Ravage's missile. He shoots one of his hip missiles off.
Oh, and
And
it shoots. Yeah, blows them all up. All the Autobots. There's Mirage in the foreground. I think
yeah,
that's supposed to be Blue Streak. You're up there. Yeah, you're right. That is Ravage. I caught the shoulder this time.
yeah.
That's what.
And
Oh, and next panel doesn't have a missile on him. That makes sense.
right, and it plays into a bit later when he gets out.
And so Ironhide catches like he wiped out the first line. He wiped out all the Autobots who were pursuing the first line of pursuit.
Yeah.
And that's when Jazz and Ironhide go after him. Jazz transforms and pursues him on wheels against feet.
Yeah, because Ravage is hauling out,
Oh
just
yeah,
right out the front door. So
he's hauling tail.
yeah.
He gets out just far enough so Mirage and can capture him with a hologram. Hound and Mirage both. Oh,
Well,
actually,
he shoots at Mirage,
yes,
and
because
it goes
Mirage is a
through.
hologram.
Right, he uses his displacement power
Yes.
again, which is we never saw in the cartoon,
Nope. And
but that's
so
actually what
Tech Spec
the
said, yeah.
yeah tech spec said. So
So Hound captures him in a net, just very much like that episode early on the miniseries where he captures Ravage in like electrical net
there's
cage
a
thing.
reason for that. I'll get to it in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so you got him well done, and they've got him captured, and they're Mirage and Hound are like, hey, great, they're being congratulated by Optimus Prime, great job. And Hound's like, we might not agree about methods, but we both want the same to stop the Decepticons.
yeah.
So it kind of come to like a calm understanding, and I think Optimus Prime feels a little better about things. And they drag Ravage off to the Ark. Um, but
Like laundry, dude. It looks like
yeah, they
it's laundry
do.
day.
Um, and Prowl comes up to him and is like, the Optimus, we don't know what the Decepticon sought to find, but we must assume he knows we're contemplating using the creation matrix. And Optimus Prime's like, look, we can talk about this. We got to go in my private chambers because there might be other ears listening, and there are.
Yep, there's
But
old Laserbeak.
but we see the Ark looking very reminiscent of the Sunbow show arc.
Yeah, now it's drawn like the Sunbow art. Except it's still silver, but
Yeah, it is. It's silver, but I mean, at least it's got the four engines in the back instead of the garage door.
I wonder if we're gonna get a reissue of the arcs and if they start doing like more of the comic decos.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
Um, but they already did a redeco of Mainframe and released him in Japan.
yeah. Or he's actually colored like his Action Master.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which it looked good, honestly.
yeah. I was kind of hoping he'd look like that, so I've
Yeah.
actually thought about getting. That's the dramatic capture one.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah,
That
then we cut to Decepticon
I
headquarters,
there's the Seekers are there yelling at Starscream is yelling at Soundwave.
and you realize where they are, right?
I don't realize where they
They
are.
are at the nuclear power plant
Oh, okay.
that they haven't used since Shockwave showed up.
I got you.
Remember,
Okay.
he moved
Yeah,
everything to the Ark, so
I do remember that.
they didn't have they couldn't go back to the Ark, and aerospace plant's gone.
Yep.
So I guess the only two things they still control are the oil platform and
Nuclear power plant.
nuclear power plant.
So yeah, Starscream's like Ravage got captured. It was foolish to send him, and like Soundwave gets in his face and says, "Look, Megatron would have done the same. And besides, this is all part of the plan. He was the best suited to go. There's a whole reason this is happening." So yeah,
And Starscream takes a chance to trash Megatron some more because he's out of the
of course.
room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Where is he at? Is he's not just out of the room?
yeah. Nobody knows where he is. He's like gone. So
That's right.
yeah. And
And
I mean, Soundwave gives the exposition that, oh yeah, Ravage isn't gonna stay there. There's no jail on Earth or Cybertron that could hold him.
he says, if the Autobots are utilizing the creation matrix, they could develop super soldiers such as we attempted with Jetfire and the Constructicons. So Soundwave's like, we got to do something about this because they're gonna if they use it, we're toast. He
Soundwave seems to be the only one playing like chess here.
he is Soundwave and Prowler playing chess is what it is.
Yeah.
Everyone else is caught in their feelings. And sure enough, we get Ravage doing a leap like a cat, leap with the legs all together and jumping through the force field.
Yeah, he uses his ability to like bend electromagnetic spectrums around him to get right through the force field like it's nothing.
Yep, and he starts sneaking around the base. I like how they drew his forelegs and the lower part of him like almost like a gold color. Because
Yeah.
in the toy, obviously they're metal.
It's metal and it's like it's not silver,
Yeah, it's kind of like a
it's
gunmetal color.
yeah, I'd say like a gunmetal, almost a like it's got a patina to it.
Yeah, he does. They always
Yeah.
have like a dark patina.
Yeah.
And he sneaks out of the jail and starts running for the hills
Yep. At night.
at
So
night. And the next issue is Bumblebee alone.
and I understand once I found out why they did this, because what they're trying to do here is they wanted to start incorporating some of the things from the TV show into this.
Mm-hmm.
I know James Hill has talked about it and said they had a plan for a like commercials to advertise the comics. Like we had commercials that would advertise the comics. We had a lot of those with like GI Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, who is Zartan? That kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
kind of. So they had a plan to do this in the UK where it would show scenes from the cartoon
Okay.
and it would change into the comic.
Nice.
So they're using, but then that whole like deal fell through. So
Oh, okay.
those commercials never got made. But that's why you'll see in this story arc they use elements from the Sunbow cartoon because that was their plan, was to advertise it using
That makes
some
sense.
of the Sunbow animation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's why that's happening. But besides all that, it makes this whole Ravage revealing himself and then running away just it's pointless.
it is. It
He
is.
could have just run away to begin with.
It is. Yeah, I kind of like my brain made the connection. Like he was in there, like kind of undercover listening for intel, and then he
Yeah.
left. This time my brain thing kind of did that, but it makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, but it's like he didn't need to be captured at all. He
Yeah.
that's just action, but there was no reason for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was the real reason for that was they were incorporating things from the cartoons into the comic to advertise.
Yeah. So That's the end of the issue, and we go right into the sound waves.
Yeah, we get to the most important part.
I was actually kind of disappointed they didn't really go in. He didn't go into a lot about the rat chat.
He got a couple of digs at it.
Not much, but yeah, you think he'd be a lot more pissy about it.
Yeah,
He there's it's what was it? Matthew Cretney's talking about, he's talking about, yeah, you think you're the best Decepticon. I would say Megatron and Shockwave, but both of them suffer from disease of having too thin of legs.
and you hear that complaint to this day with like collectors that go back and like, oh, I want to
Yeah,
get Megatron. Oh, look how skinny his legs are. It's like, well, yeah, they always like that.
yeah, it was 40 years ago, dude. They were supposed to go into the handle of a gun.
But they had that same problem with the first Masterpiece Megatron too.
I was just referencing that to someone, the Reflector Files on Facebook. He was just talking about how it's like um, so many years ago today it was released. I
Hmm.
guess the creator of that mold had 12 days to create the Masterpiece Megatron mold. And
Wow.
yeah, he created that in 12 days, which now it has not aged that well. But at the time, like he was saying, like, I thought this is like the ultimate Megatron. I'll never have another Megatron because this is so cool.
Yeah, it was a cool Megatron.
Yeah,
You know, when they later redid it and gave him more robust legs, then that kind
yeah,
of
that
pushed it
helped.
aside. Didn't the feet have a problem? Like people had to clear coat the feet because they would corrode.
They got those little rust spots,
Yeah,
and yeah, like mine has little rust spots on them too.
yeah, because I know a lot of people were taking it apart and like clear coating them and then putting them back in because they
Yeah,
were rusting.
they were it's like the same thing that happens to God Bomber. A lot of the ones that actually use like the metal chrome, actually, like not like it's not painted a certain color, it is actually
It,
chromed.
yeah,
Um
they didn't vac metal it.
yeah, exactly, and that you get little spots of like rust on it, kind of like how the Monster Pretenders get little weird spot colors on
That's
there.
the thing of the measles.
Yeah, the measles. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get the metal measles. You get the
yeah.
cosmic rust on some of these older chromed pieces.
You'd
So I can
think they had to use stainless steel or something for that,
Hey man, whatever they have the cheapest they can find, I'm sure they use that.
right?
Um,
So,
yeah,
yeah. No, and they talk about a disease plaguing, their legs.
yes. There you go. The kid's also saying like, hey, why is a jazz so rare? So
See, and they had problems with that, same as we got today. It's like distribution is not getting
yeah,
the toys we're looking for to the stores. It certainly wasn't scalpers back then.
no, no, it's not. And I said, be like, Soundwave was like, hey, just go to your local place and ask them for some jazz, I guess.
Basically, see if they'd order another of that assortment.
Yeah. And
I wish it was that easy now. Go to Walmart and be like, hey, man, you need to order more of assortment 12 because we can't find Cosmos. Yeah,
man,
see, it hit, didn't it? You're like, that stinking Cosmos.
hey, at least finally got him. Whoop, whoop. He's
Oh,
woohoo. I got him on that Walmart.
was that the Black Friday?
Yeah, the Black Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love on the stand. He looks so good because he looks like he looks goofy, like the show made him look. He
yeah.
looks like one of those Gulf Breeze UFOs. Growing up in Pensacola and the Gulf Breeze UFO thing was huge. It was all we could talk about.
Oh, that was big everywhere when Unsolved Mysteries covered it. Like everybody was like, "Oh, wow, those
We
pictures are really convincing."
we had all kinds of people come to town and do that kind of like investigate it. It was
It was
really
great for
worthwhile.
tourism, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, I'm sure it was. I was a little too young to realize how much it helped that. And then there was
You'd have been out painting hubcaps for souvenirs.
so yeah, there's also Robert Senior's letter was supposed to have an upside down Autobot face to make it see if it looked like Megatron.
Yeah, that was from a couple of issues back.
Yeah, from issue
Yeah,
40.
yeah.
And he's talking about how and see, it wasn't bad enough. In my absence, last issue they published the lamentable rat chat. It was so depressing. Even a heavy session of neuroshocking the errant units did little to raise my spirits. You can now see the upside down Autobot sign below. I don't think it looks like Megatron at all, but okay.
Yeah.
You can see what you want to see, I guess.
Maybe the silhouette. I can see the silhouette of
If
like
I
his helmet head.
squint my eyes, maybe.
Yeah. But the rest of it, nah.
No.
He's got a very vivid imagination.
And then like next letter's great. Andrew Doboriski. There's that
Stobierski.
way. Yes,
Yeah.
there's that way. I think you're a coward because you never fight. All you ever do is in battle is get rumble, ravage, or laserbeak to do the fighting, and then sit back and watch. If you do not fight, Jazz, I will spread it around that your father is a pop-up toaster and your mother's a microwave.
Oh yeah. I love when they start trying to get their digs in on Soundwave.
And as I was like, your arrogance and sound military tactics appalls me even more than your feeble insults, human. A good tactician knows when to get involved and when to let others do the fighting. Report to your local agony booth forthwith.
And you know what this is?
What's that?
This is kids talking smack to the wrestling heel.
Oh, yeah, 100% is.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
And it's funny that we were just having this discussion because people in some of the Facebook groups are like, "Oh, in the opening for season 1, why is Starscream in the back and Thundercrackers in the front?"
Dude, because they didn't have the personalities done out by then. Like
Well, on top of that, even if they did,
yeah,
the king's in the back, the pawns are in the front.
yeah, that too. I mean, like we were saying, also they didn't exactly have perfection on the tech specs either. Like they
Oh yeah,
mixed
the
up a few
text
things.
mix got
The leadership,
mixed up. Yeah. Oh yeah, the actual specs are all mixed up.
yeah.
The graphs, yeah.
Zettercracker and Starscream, I think, are switched, right?
No, it's all three of them are switched.
Okay,
Yeah, like Skywarp has Starscreams.
yeah,
Starscream has Thundercrackers, and Thundercracker has Skywarp's
yeah.
graph.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah,
And then there's finally is Ian Lancaster. I've collected the comics since issue 24. In the Robot War 2 feature, it said that 5 Autobots were chosen to make the last stand. Could you tell me who they were, please? These are my 3 favorite Transformers: Soundwave, Jazz, and Shockwave. So right off the bat, you gotta ask a question, and then you give them a little like, "You're my favorite." You answer my
yeah.
question. Yeah, this is what I need to soothe my troubled cranial armor. The 5 who he soundly trounced that day were Optimus Prime, Mirage, Huffer, Blue Streak, and Ironhide. Ah, that's better.
Someone should go and like record these. I think we said this before, using like the vocoder.
God, yes.
That would be fun.
And then we had the Corgi competition.
Man, look at that pile of loot. I would love to have all
The
that stuff.
Tycho electric train set alone.
Right? I used to stare at that in Toys R Us. I never got that.
Neither did
And it
I.
just looked cool. I mean, if you like train sets, which
Hmm.
I've always liked train sets, so yeah, that would have been a cool one to have.
They had all kinds of stuff. They had that stupid glider, and they had all the Corgi
Oh yeah, the
story books.
Thundercracker gliders.
Yeah,
They got, it looks like bedding in there, and they have a list. They actually listed everything out. Yeah, there's
they have soap and stationery also.
oh, they got a beanbag,
Yeah,
a clock.
yeah. Like the first prize winner gets all of that stuff. In that
Oh, the
picture.
Robo Design Center. I have that one.
Oh, I
That's the
remember
one
that.
yeah, it looks like Soundwave, and you
Yep.
can like draw stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. There's all kinds of roller skates even.
boomerang.
It was probably like I had Thundercracker on the boomerang. I'm sure you flip it around
Yeah.
and then even the runner up
Oh, the
prizes.
lunchbox and thermos. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they got everything first prize, and then the runner up still got some pretty decent stuff
Hey,
too.
you get your Transformers Adventure Game books plus assorted products from up above. You could have ended up with another train set from who knows.
Right.
Third prizes, you got the books plus soap and stationery.
Everybody's getting those books.
Oh yeah, well that's the
Everybody.
main focus. And
I
then
need to look up those on eBay because it sounds like they were pretty common since
yeah,
everybody, if you entered, you got it.
fourth prizes you get the books, and oh, third prize you also get the books. No, that's stationery and soap. Okay, yeah, then you got the books if you get fourth prizes no matter what.
Yeah, that's
And Gail,
the bare minimum there.
yeah, our thanks to Gail Collins at Corgi Books for helping us to collect all the fantastic prizes.
You know what this reads like?
What's that?
This is like Kickstarter backers. This is
Oh
your
yeah,
backing like bonuses.
oh 100%.
So it's just in reverse. Oh, if you do this level, then this tier, then you're going to get the books, and you get this one, you get the books and the soap and stationery.
Yeah,
It just goes on and on.
and then we go on to interface fact files.
Yep.
Well, so we have 2 that have not shown up in the book yet at all: Blitzwing and Trax.
Yeah, and it's going to be a minute before we see either one of them.
I was gonna say it's kind of early for these guys to be showing up.
Dude, especially Blitzwing.
Yeah,
Blitzwing's like halfway through the series almost.
really that far?
When Scraplets show up, that's when we get
Okay. Oh
Blitzwing. We get
wow.
all the triple changers.
Rat
Yeah,
Bat's in charge.
yeah. That's how far along. You know, when you see Blitzwing and Tracks, we're not too far from Tracks, but
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just their tech specs. Nothing's crazy there.
yeah,
Looking
it's
good.
more like their Transformers universe
Well, yeah, it
entries.
is. It is. They're listed out in the Transformers universe.
Yeah,
Trax is looking good is what life is all about.
and he's all worried about his looks and to the detriment of battle. Even
Yeah.
yeah,
Him and Blue Streak God
Sunstreaker.
Sunstreaker would have words together
Yeah, and I think it makes it out like he won't move and he won't transform out of his vehicle mode.
because he looks so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like if he starts getting messed up, he'll just stop fighting. It's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm getting. Whereas
But
I think with Sunstreaker, he'd get mad and mess you up because he messed him up.
oh yeah. And Blitzwing, his biggest weakness is he gets locked in different modes. He gets all scrambled up and he'll like be a half tank, half jet,
Yeah,
fighter or
and then
whatever.
he likes to dive bomb you as a plane and then
Mhm.
basically cannonball you by turning into a tank at the last minute when you think he's gonna pull up.
Oh
So
God, so he's a broadside.
yeah,
I think it was that Carnage and
yeah,
C Minor were broadsides fighting.
yeah. He smashes Devastator by like turning into
He
a
turns into an
aircraft
aircraft
carrier,
carrier.
just lands on it.
But yeah, and next issue is Bumblebee's out on his own in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah,
I see a
Lord.
lot of Decepticon guns pointed at him.
And again, this is another one that's borrowing from the cartoon because this is
Uh-huh.
from Transport to Oblivion. It's where
Oh, I can see that.
they
Yeah.
pulled some inspiration from it.
God, in that desert too.
Yep.
Reckless as ever, Bumblebee decides it's his job to recapture the Decepticon Ravage and give chase alone. Yeah, well that's not going to go well.
And
Bumblebee's
you know,
going to.
it's kind of a fair match there if you think about it, because Bumblebee was their espionage agent
Well, sure.
and Ravage is a saboteur.
Yep.
So,
Bumblebee
but
fans are not going to enjoy this next issue.
yeah, Bumblebee is just not the best slugger out there.
I guess next, since we just ended Machine Man, it goes on to classic all new Iron Man story featuring the original Iron Man,
Yeah, it's got
not
some
the
really good artwork in it.
yeah, not the Machine Man Iron Man.
Oh yeah, not Arno Stark. We're going
Yeah,
back to Tony.
and yeah, so
Which nowadays, you know, you find out that Arno Stark is actually the real son of Howard Stark, and yeah,
I have no idea.
it is a big mess right now. The whole genealogy thing,
Jesus
and
Christ,
basically Tony was a decoy to keep Arno safe. It's like what?
God,
Well,
uh,
you know, back when they were writing Iron Man, I mean, that was like 60 years ago. So they weren't expecting Tony Stark to be still there 60 years in the future to 2020. And he wasn't even like his brother or anything. I think he was like his nephew or something.
oh wow,
Yeah. So it continuity is convoluted when it comes to
in comic
Arnold
books,
Stark. You're in
no,
comics, really? It's on par with the whole. Oh, Phoenix isn't really Jean Grey. Jean Grey was in a cocoon in the Gulf of Mexico.
was she the Goblin Queen?
Oh yeah, that's Madeline Pryor, who was a clone of Jean Grey that the Phoenix Force tried to inhabit. And
How about how about the Spectacular Spider-Man and the and Amazing Spider-Man and what
oh,
was
are you gonna
the
get into Ben Riley and
Ben
all that?
Riley and
Yeah, the
yeah,
clone. Yeah, and then
yeah,
Peter Parker's really the clone, and Ben Riley's the real one. Oh wait, never mind. It's the other way around.
yeah. I remember I got the issue during the Clone Saga because I wanted to see what was going on, and I had no idea what was happening.
I read the original Clone Saga, like
Mhm.
the one from the I guess late 70s, early 80s,
Mhm.
whenever. Yeah, and when I saw they brought it back, I'm like, oh, leave that alone. That was a good story by itself. You
And
know,
it was not a good
but
story the way they did it.
and what was Zabgoth telling us the other day that Mary Jane is Venom now or something?
Yeah,
Or is that today? That was today, I guess.
yeah. Today or yesterday, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but yeah, so I can't keep up with like how much has changed over.
Last Last time I actually paid attention to what was happening with Venom, he was Agent Venom, and he was with Zap. Not. I mean, what is the character from Spider-Man, the jock who is the football player?
Oh, Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. He is Flash Thompson. He bonded with Flash, and he was Agent Venom.
Yeah, and I mean he was on the Scorpion for a while when they were with the Dark Avengers or something.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and that's when Norman Osborn was leading them as like Iron Patriot.
that's right.
Yeah,
And well, that's a whole other can of worms. And we
it
have a
is.
sound strategy. Kids, write in your name and address and get in your issue of Transformers with your newspaper every week.
Yeah, he's told them how to do this because they've asked like, how do you get the comics? You know, and so yeah, right in they just bring you when they bring your paper.
Yep. And then speaking of evil people, we have the kid once again. Look
Oh
out for
yeah,
Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're in shops
that
now.
kid's threatening us every issue now.
Yeah, and his guy who he needs to blink twice if he's in danger, but he never blinks.
And you know why they're pushing this so big right now, right?
Why is that?
Those are the top like price points.
Oh yeah.
That's yeah.
Megatron and Optimus Prime were like $20, $25.
25 bucks. I don't know what that worked into British pounds at the time, but yeah, they were the
Yeah.
biggins. And the thing I'm finding really humorous about this whole story arc, and
Hmm.
I'm sure we'll get to more of that later, but Optimus is like, no, we're not making ultimate Autobots. We're not going to build giant Autobots to destroy the Decepticons. But we know what's coming. Omega Supreme is
Oh
coming, so
yeah,
he
it's
says
true.
no. But then he turns around, and not far from now, actually, they're going to have Omega Supreme. And then what follows right after Omega Supreme?
Then we have
Superion.
Furion coming in. Yeah,
And
it's
then
just
not long after that, Defensor. So
bigger,
he
bigger, bigger,
says
baby.
no, but his creation matrix says yes.
I your mouth says no. Which your
Well,
matrix
I
says
wasn't
yes.
going there. That's, but I was thinking more of like along the lines of the Elita One thing going on over in Skybound, where the Matrix decided to do something different than Optimus thought. So
We always blame the Matrix, don't we?
yes, apparently so. Blame it on the Matrix. But yeah, it's like
Not me,
this whole
baby. It's the
arc is
Matrix.
funny, and this is written in 1986 or it's published in 1986.
Hmm.
So they knew about Omega Supreme for sure.
Oh yeah,
Omega
that's how
Supreme
they
had been
put
around
in
for
the
a while.
story.
So the fact that Optimus is so against this, and if they don't even bring up the Dinobots, like the Dinobots have like flown the coop, so they say, hey, maybe we should just go get the Dinobots and stick them on the Decepticons right now.
Yeah, yeah, the Dinobots. There you go. But the
Yeah.
Dinobots are AWOL right now, anyways. So
Oh yeah. Well, they're not truly AWOL. I mean, they kind of are, but it's like, yeah, we'll see you guys around. After the Wrath of Grimlock and Guardian, but they could find them and go, hey, you got to deal with something.
yeah,
And
I really wanted to.
what I thought would actually have been a better argument
Hmm.
against going and attacking them right now is they've got the Devastator, and we aren't ready to fight the Devastator.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that would be a better argument for the Super Autobots or Ultimate Autobots because you need something to counter Devastator,
Yeah, too bad they don't have a few shock troops out there somewhere that could counter Devastator.
right? Or at least keep him tied up while they,
Yeah,
knocked out the rest of them.
yeah,
But
exactly.
those are my thoughts on this story, and it's just starting. But I mean, I know how this ends. I've read this one like
Mhm.
a few times, but yeah, it's like, you know, there's a couple other points you could have used here
There
for
there
all of
are,
this.
but it's just too much stuff going on, and then like this convoluted plan, like you said, the convoluted plan was really just about getting the shot for the commercial. So it really is kind of a really even worse plan.
Right, and the whole argument they're having here just goes out the windows because they're bringing in giant Autobots anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no avoiding them.
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah,
there. All right,
you watch how soon we get to Omega Supreme from this
oh
point.
yeah, that's
You're
probably
gonna
why
be like,
that's probably why they drew the Ultimate Autobots like that, because they already saw like some kind of probably like production shots. Who knows?
yeah.
But
They knew Omega Supreme was around. I don't think they could sell him there. So
they couldn't.
yeah, because of the licensing with the other toy lines.
Yep. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah,
Well. Hmm?
yeah, that was it. That's
Okay.
all I
Well,
got.
make sure there wasn't anything else. All right, everyone. Thanks for checking us out today, and we'll obviously be working on issue number 43 next. And if nothing else, y'all
Maybe
have
some Exo Squad coming up this week if we can get
hopefully so.
if
So
we can
anyway,
get Able Squad together.
oh man, they're probably on this planet or that planet or fun going
Them
into the
shaved tail
sun.
jockeys.
You shaved tail jockey. All right, y'all have a great night. Take it easy. See you later.
Bye.
More Than Meets These Guys, a Transformers podcast, is performed by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Research is done by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Special thanks to Hasbro, Marvel, Skybound, and the occasional extra property which we will name at whatever time is appropriate for that episode. And without all of you, this is really not even possible. So thanks for being here, and thanks for checking us out every week. Goodbye.